Gentlemen, and the two girls who watch this channel, I'm going to get right into it. The prices that we're seeing right now are the best prices we've seen since the FTX crash, bar none. Every single altcoin indicator, every oversell indicator on ETH, every fear greed thing is flashing buy. Everything is flashing that people have completely overreacted here and oversold. And so forgive me if I'm not going to give the huge cinematic intros that I usually do with jokes and bustles and cussing and calling you a cucker or something like that. I'm just going to lay out the case right here about what's going on in the market, why this buy opportunity looks ridiculous, why the risk looks to not being exposed to the market, aka if you're not exposed to the market right now, that's the risk, and how I think the rest of 2025 is going to play out. We got people saying that Elon's causing a recession, Trump is causing a recession, all this fear and mass chaos and stuff like that. I think it's all kind of ridiculous. I don't think anything we're seeing in the price right now is reasonable. I don't think it's anywhere near the level of chaos or danger that was with the FTX crash, where people's crypto bank accounts were literally exploding. I don't think this is like COVID, where there's a pandemic that could shut down the entire world. I don't see any of that type of actual macro going on here. I see a bunch of stupidity, and I want to talk about why. And unlike other videos where I insult and call you an idiot for disagreeing with me, I don't have time to do those spiels right now because I don't know how long these prices are going to last. And frankly, just like everybody else here, I'm down a lot too, so I'm not in the most jokey, happy-go-lucky kind of mood. These markets are absolute garbage. Buying right now feels terrible. I just bought a F ton of crypto, and it was not a fun experience. It was like licking a toilet seat at Walmart. But every single time that has happened in my life, every time I've had that effect, I bought in the FTX crash just a tiny bit. I bought during COVID, and every single time I did that, it just felt terrible. That's when I saw the craziest gains. And right now, we are able to see absolutely insane returns, not on little mid, low cap gambling coins that are super risky and always go to zero. We're able to see giant gains right now on big, giant coins that you can hold for years. You can get generational, half a decade like buys right now. And I realize the amount of vitriol and anger I'm going to get for saying this, but it just is what it is. That's what I see. In this video, I'm going to talk about what's happening in the market, what I think is going to happen for the rest of 2025, what I'm buying right now, and kind of address all the concerns with the Trump recession or whatever the heck is going on right now in the markets. That's it. If you want to see my views a lot quicker, follow me at Becker on Twitter. Let's just dive into this. All right, gentlemen, so let's talk about the elephant in the room, the terrible, terrible market conditions right now. I'm sure you're sitting here right now, you're looking at your portfolio, it's super down, and if you're in altcoins and everything, you're just totally wrecked right now. I'm going to address all that here in a second. What's going on in the markets? There's a whole bunch of things we can say that's going on in the markets that caused this crash right here. I think we're looking at a trifecta of things going on here. One, stock market's crashing. That's the number one thing that's going on right now. Two, obviously the tariff talks and everything is slowing down the economy, and it's making stocks for the first time not be up only, which is again causing all markets to crash right here. On top of that, crypto is falling to that as well. Three, we saw massive overextension with meme coins, and a lot of people were completely off sides right there, so they're having to sell and take a lot of losses right now. We're also seeing tons and tons and tons of retail being pushed out of the market right now. This is all a little bit silly. And if you look at the underlying indicators, this is not like FTX. This is not like COVID, where whales and all the big major people were selling and people's bank accounts were blowing up. I think this is just a little bit ridiculous. But we're looking at, for all intents and purposes, a small detox that's occurring after the 4 years. And I'm not here to blame this on Biden or Trump. I'm not here to do any of that. Obviously, this has more to do with Trump right now than it does with Biden. Obviously, the economy we saw the last 4 years had to do with Biden, because if you look at the last 4 years, it was just endless amounts of faking it to make it. Everything in the stock market was inflated, but if you looked at the actual underlying dollars and everything, people were not doing well in that economy. And we basically saw a falsely stimulated economy under Biden for 4 years, just endless printing, endless manipulation of stuff to make things go up and make set prices go up, because that's what everybody wanted right there. Now, what we're seeing in the Trump administration right now is they're reeling in about a lot of things, which is hurting the economy. It's taking it off the drugs and steroids. I don't think this is going to give us a huge, crazy long-term recession. I think this is going to cause a big dip like we saw when Reagan took office, and I think we're going to see a lot of up only from here. I'm going to explain why in a second. But if we're looking at everything right here, the real star of the show and the thing that we really want to talk about is going to be Ethereum, because what we're trying to see here is we want to see alt season, and everything that we're going to see and where we're going to get our biggest gains at is going to be in the altcoins that I'm going to talk about in this video and the altcoins that we always trade on this channel. I think from these lows right here, AI coins, RWA coins, and potentially gaming coins later this year are going to deliver an absolute insane returns. But I'm not going to talk about this in the video because they are so down low and they're such, I've mentioned them so much on this channel. There isn't much reason to talk about them right now. I want to talk about the overarching thing that is going on here. And really, if you're a beginner or you're kind of new to crypto or something like that, you don't need to be dabbling in those coins. You can do really well here with a big giant coin like AVAX or something. So everything that we need to happen right here depends on Ethereum. And what we're just seeing with Ethereum and Bitcoin in the overall market right now, let me just bring up a few things. So the reason why I'm just stupidly kind of bullish here is if we look at just a few basic indicators that pop up, these are not going to be the end all and the everything and the make or break and what's happening in the markets. And you can't always rely on these things. That's not what I'm trying to say here. I'm saying I've never seen a point in the last couple of years where every single indicator is flashing by. So either we're at what we usually see or what we've seen at the FTX lows and the COVID lows where people are just being ridiculous, or we're about to see the next Great Depression. I'm not thinking we see the next Great Depression here. I'm not thinking we get World War III. That's just where my bet is right now. And if you look at, for example, this chart right here, altcoins are at the most ridiculous lows, this oversoldness that we've ever seen. Now, a lot of these charts that I'm showing you right here, I'm going to show you, were taken about a week ago or a couple days ago before the crash that we're seeing right now. Most of these charts are down in the dumps, like down to this bottom red line that we're looking at right here, showing that these were already flashing by like a week ago. They are flashing deep buy, like put your liver into it kind of buys right now. And if we look at another thing, the fear and greed index is actually at about 15 right now. And we're seeing similar fear/greeds that we saw again during the FTX crash, during the COVID crash. And we're seeing the highest level of fear. It's not at 38 right now. It's about 15. We're seeing the highest level of fear we've seen in a couple years. While every single altcoin indicator is flashing deep red oversold buy. So there's only, again, two things that are going to happen right here. We're going to see the next Great Depression, or this is just a really damn good time to buy. And if we go and look at what was happening during FTX and COVID, this is nothing like that. If you were around during FTX, your bank account got blown up. If you were invested in Luna, which was one of the biggest coins in the market, Luna literally went to zero. This would be like, I don't know, time. And if you stored all your money on that chain, because it was basically a place where you could store money and get passive APY, all that got nuked. Then FTX, where people kept all their money, exchange money, exploded. It found out it was all massive fraud. Then every other type of business like that, BlockFi, Celsius, just where people kept their savings in crypto, all got nuked. Everybody lost all their savings. This is nothing like that. People are just like, oh, tariffs in the stock market's finally topped out. I don't get it. So when I see these indicators right now without an FTX like apocalypse happening, I have to buy here. I have to be like, okay, let's go all in. And I know a lot of people are upset right now because coins aren't doing well. They've gone off course. And, I'm going to be frank with you right here. I definitely totally miscalculated ETH. When I saw Bitcoin going to 108K and I saw Trump get the presidency, I really thought we were going to get an ETH all-time high. That's just what it was. I did not see a world where we hit a $110,000 Bitcoin and not get an Ethereum all-time high. If you look at every past cycle, everything we've ever seen in crypto, this was just the, hey, Bitcoin hits 110K, eventually ETH is going to have its run. That was prediction. We did not get that. And if we're looking at the 4-year cycle and everything we've seen in the past, we're just simply not seeing that anymore. It's different now. The dynamic has changed in some way, and we're in a very unpredictable market right here. The thing I want to point out, though, is I don't really get people being super duper upset here because of this. Look, I get being 70, 80% down on your coins. That sucks. But what you're going to see constantly in crypto is charts like this, okay? When you get up on coins and you're riding them to their best sell points, which I don't think we've arrived at. I don't think we're going to see the best sell points on altcoins until we have an ETH all-time high. And I have really no interest in selling any altcoins, any mid caps until we do that. That's why when Trump won the presidency and everything, I took a little bit of profits. I sold a good chunk of my portfolio, but not much of it, not a huge proportion of it. And obviously, the best strategy there would have been to turbo dump my entire holdings. But that wasn't the thesis. And that's not what I think. I don't think we're at the best sell prices yet. Again, we need to wait for Ethereum to get to its all-time high, which I think is going to happen this year still. But again, backing up to the original point, if we want to get to our best sell prices, here's just a typical chart to just put this perspective. I stole this from Wiz on Twitter, but there's 1,001 charts in crypto that look just like this. If you want to get to the best sell prices, you're going to have to hold through volatility like this. You can see this coin went up and dumped 80%, went up, dumped 80%. And this is a big, well-known coin. I'm not going to name it because it really doesn't matter, because you can see this chart everywhere, all over crypto. I pointed out before. Dumped 80%, then went and did its big giant gains right here. What I think we're seeing right now with our coins is we got up a little bit, we are down right now, but what we're really waiting for is the ETH all-time high, where we're going to see gains like this. And the thesis was never, hey, let's take profit when the market's lukewarm or we're at like our middle sell prices. We want to get to the point where ETH has an all-time high and the market's looking really good. We haven't seen that. And I think right now we're at these type of lows right here where people are just being ridiculous before we have a big run up. And if you want proof that this can happen, just go look at the COVID dip, go look at the FTX crash, and look at how those things recovered. You have to understand, yeah, it does suck to be down 70% of your coins, but you have to realize that these coins can replace those downs in a couple candles. You'll see that all your losses will be recovered in 1 to 2 weeks, and then it will double, triple from there. You can see this isn't uncommon at all in crypto. So I just have to remind you of that. A lot of people are just not seeing the overall picture with crypto and remembering how these things can move. Now, what we're seeing with stocks and everything right now, I'm not going to tell you when we reverse or we go back up, and I'm not going to tell you this is the bottom right here. I don't see us going to $1,000 Ethereum. I just don't. I see us going to a $6,000, $7,000 Ethereum this year, though. So to me, it's just like the risk to reward here looks ridiculous. But going back to what we're actually seeing in the markets right now, obviously Trump, I don't know if Trump's crashing the markets on purpose or not. A lot of people are saying that's what Trump is trying to do because they want to think that someone is up there controlling the strings at the top. For all intents and purposes, let's just frickin' say that. What I think is happening is we're having an economic detox right here. We're getting out of an economy that was based on endless fluffing up on printing of dollars and government jobs and the government throwing money at stuff to artificially pump the markets and make assets go up, but everybody else get very poor. If you notice the last 4 years, assets and everyone on assets got very, very rich. Actually, they didn't get rich. Inflation-wise, we kind of treaded water. If you look at the stock market and everything like that, if you were just holding the S&P and stuff like that, which was up 10, 15%, you really actually didn't make money. You just kind of went with the base layer of money. Everybody didn't have assets, got extremely poor the last few years. This wasn't really so much a bull run the last couple of years in assets. It was more so assets just maintaining the absolute craziness inflation we're seeing. And of course, we saw bull runs in some other assets. I'm not saying we did not. I'm saying it's not like a bull run where we saw the dollar maintain its value and then the stock market going up in relation to the value of the dollar. We didn't see some crazy bull run there. Now, what I think we're about to see is that type of bull run, because what we're looking at, if you look at inflation data right now, inflation's just absolutely crashed. The stock market is crashing as well. What does this mean? It means that the Federal Reserve is going to drop rates. And I look at Trump and I see a guy that's pretty egocentrical. He's pretty vain, and I think takes the stock market price personally. There is absolutely no way, once he gets rates down and the ability to play with the money printer with a low inflation US dollar, which we haven't seen since COVID, it's been almost 5-6 years, we're going to see the printer come on, and we're going to see low rates, and we're going to see free money return. I don't think people remember how crazy pre-COVID was when you could get loans for essentially for free. What this means is you could just get free money. Just that was it. And not only was the money free, the inflation on it was very low. So you could literally just take a crazy ass loan and then put it or loan the money out again. And all sorts of hoopla and nonsense was going on right there. And it all came to a head. And if you want an example of how extreme it can be, look at what happened after COVID when we had low inflation and then they turned the printer on. The markets went insane. Of course, this led to high inflation again. I do not see Trump I see him just pumping the hell out of the markets after this. There's no way he's going to let them stay low and people say, oh, it looks like Trump messed up the stock market. I think what's happening right here is we're going to get lower rates and he's going to be able to turn on the printer again. And then all hell is going to break loose in the markets in a good way. And so looking at this right now, here's what we see going on right now. And here's just why, like, I don't see this being a bad buy point. In fact, no, I see it being the best buy point, because here's what we're seeing. Here's why I just can't take this seriously. What we're seeing in crypto right now is a lot of retail flooding out. We're seeing a lot of people that have held for less than a year, or a lot of smaller holders flooding out. Now, as we're seeing this happening, as we're seeing all this panic and absolute fear going on, we're seeing more Bitcoin being acquired than ever before. And we're seeing Trump and BlackRock and institutions buying more ETH than ever before. So, like, it's kind of, I just can't take it seriously when I see people that are the typical short-term traders that have no business and are not very rich, flipping out, and people who have held Bitcoin for less than a year, selling all their Bitcoin right now. And then when I see BlackRock and the government and everybody else buying it with the reserve and everything launching and a healthier macro than we've ever had before, I just can't take it seriously. Forgive me if everybody's panicking and freaking out right now, and I can't relate to you. Maybe I'm just fucking nuts or something like that, but I just don't see it. So, looking at what's going on right now, more Bitcoin and ETH being accumulated while people are panicking and spazzing out right here, the stock market crashing, in combination with the tariffs and everything knocking it down, and this allowing Trump to then get low rates and get access to the printer again with low inflation dollars, I see a absolutely crazy bull market shaping up here, and I see huge, giant returns from these lows that we're at right here, specifically in altcoins. I see us getting that ETH all-time high, and I see everything slingshotting, charging back, because we're at prices right now that are just too damn juicy to turn up or turn down. So if I'm looking at the markets right now, look, guys, I think you can just take a dart and throw it at any mid caps or low caps and altcoins that relate to AI or RWA. Those are going to perform really well. If you want to go look at coins that I think are going to do like 10, 20, 30 X's realistically from here, just go through my AI and RWA videos that are on this channel. I'm not going to talk about those coins channel because you can just literally throw a fucking dart. And the only challenge there right now is probably being able to hold down another 30, 40% from these places, which I don't think is hard to do after the amount that we've been down right now. I just don't think that's very challenging to do. But not everybody wants to do that. That's not their cup of tea. And I don't know if this is the absolute bottom of those. And if it's not, we're probably going down another 30, 40%, which is going to be ick. But again, like, you have to come back and you have to look, if you're in any of the smaller altcoins or mid caps that we're in right now, you have to understand how these damn things move. Like, we don't get from here to here, and we don't just go up in a straight line from the bottom of this chart to the top. What we do is we do this whole lollygagging where you lose 80% of your bag multiple times. And unless you're swing trading it, which you're not, I'm not, you have to be a talented trader to do that. No one watching this channel is that, including me. You have to be able to hold through this stuff. So you have to just take it with this stuff. I see AI coins and RWA coins we're using doing exactly this, especially if you get that ETH all-time high. So speaking about ETH, let's talk about the big chunky altcoins. So looking at this right now, of course, we could just straight up buy ETH right now. Phenomenal buy point right here. This is the same almost prices that we saw during FTX. Like, let's go back when FTX happened right here. Like, right here is the FTX crash. Like, we're not that far away from it. We saw it got down to like 1,200 for a second, but where it mostly hovered at was about $1,500. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Okay? You have to understand, inflation raged past this point too. So in terms of inflation, we're probably almost at these points. We're looking at like 6% inflation during these time periods right here. So one, keep that in mind. Now, if we're going to go look at any coins we can buy, guys, like, the entire world is your oyster right now. We're looking at Solana, probably an easy 4 to 5x from right here. We're looking at Cardano, easily at a 4 to 5x right here. We are looking at Chainlink going to negative. This thing will not pump. I don't get it. It is the best coin in crypto. Whatever. I'm not going to tap on that. We're looking at AVEX at an easy 5x right here. We're looking at SUI at an easy 6, 7x right here. We're looking at DOT, Hype, Ondo, Tau. I mean, Tau is an excellent price right now. I'm hurting with my buys a little bit earlier this last few weeks, but I think this is easily going to 1,000. Arboretum, Quant, Near. The most beautiful thing that's happening right now, guys, is look, usually to make a lot of money in crypto, you're going to have to get down into the smaller altcoins, the mid caps, the low caps. And those come with a lot of risk, because holding them, you're probably going to have to hold them down 60, 70% to get to the all-time highs. You're very rarely going to buy those things and not eat 60, 70% dips on them. They're very hard. They're challenging. And a lot of people aren't able to do that. A lot of people that got in during this last year, this whole meme coin craze, They are down on their coins right now. And trust me, guys, I'm down on my coins too right now, but you have to come back to that chart I showed you before of how these things move. And if you're not prepared for that, which is like literally what we're going through right now, you're going to be in a lot of pain. You're going to be upset all the time. You're going to end up selling at lows, and you're just going to have a really bad time here. There's no chance, almost no reality, where you buy those coins and you ride them to their best prices without some crazy turmoil. I mean, you could do that. I've seen it happen before at some points, but the odds are exactly what you're going to see right now. Now, that in mind, I think those coins are at the craziest buy points right now. And if you've watched this channel for any amount of time, you know the AI coins, you know the RWA coins, you know the gaming coins, and you know just the general infrastructure coins that we're looking at. But the cool thing that's happening right now is you don't even have to play in those coins right now, which I don't advise anyone that has less than a couple years experience in crypto to be playing with those, because you don't understand what's happening. The reason why people are so upset right now is they don't understand how to buy and sell those coins, and so they get into them. When I say these are for experts, you have to be able to prepare to hold through these crazy things or be comfortable selling without somebody telling you when to sell. That's why a lot of people got burned with meme coins, because they don't know when to sell on their own. They can buy just fine, but they don't know how to sell coins. And again, I haven't taken big sells. I'm not sitting here be like, well, you should have sold like me. No, I'm super down with you guys because I don't think we're at the best point yet. That said, back to my original point, you don't have to even do that right now, because we're looking at huge giant coins like AVAX or NEAR or Ondo or Cardano, Solana. Like, you can just get 5, 10X's on those coins right here. And if for some reason we don't get a bull market anytime soon, you can hold those coins for years. I don't think Cardano is going anywhere. I don't think Solana is going anywhere. I don't think AVAX is going anywhere. Ondo, NEAR, a lot of those coins I mentioned, Tau, BitTensor, these coins are going to have new all-time highs. If it's not this year, it's going to be within years. So it's like, you're looking at a free score here. That's what I'm looking at. And I think, look, I'm going to catch massive flack for this because I've been bullish all the way down, because I don't think we're at the best prices yet. I still don't think we are. I think we're going to see the big bull run later this year. I think we're going to get the alt season we've all been talking about after everyone is absolutely given up here. But the risk right now is not being exposed to these prices. This is like you walk up to Vegas, and I'd say there's a 60% chance that we have a bull run this year. Let's just take it down to 50-50. We walk up to a table in Vegas, and if you lose, it's a 50-50 bet, red, black. And if you lose, you only lose 40-50% of your cash on these bigger coins. Okay, maybe we go down 40-50% more. If you win, you get a 5 to 10x. And if you do lose and you just hold down that 50% and then hold to say, okay, shit, I'm going to hold for 2 to 3 years, you still get that 5 to 6x, almost, in my opinion, guaranteed. Don't go bet your house on that. Read the disclaimer below. But that's my viewpoint right here. So if I go and buy $1 million worth of Solana right now, and I have to write it down to $600,000, or I go buy right now, I go buy a couple $1 million worth, and I have to hold it down another 50%, I don't see $1,000 happen. If God forbid it does, I think we're still going to see that all-time high sometime in the next 2 to 3 years. I don't think you can make many better investments than that. So that's where I'm sitting at, because the risk right now is that the market recovers and that we see these mid caps and these higher altcoins go crazy. For example, during the FTX crash, the risk was not being exposed to the market. Solana was at $12. If you just went and bought any altcoin during that time, you made a 10, 15x on some of the biggest, chunkiest, safest coins in crypto. The risk at that time was not being in the market. Like Solana at $12, Solana at these other prices, or Cardano at 10 cents or wherever it was. That wasn't risk right there. The risk was not owning those things and being caught off sides and everybody getting rich without. So that's where I think we're at right now. Just looking at all the things we're looking at, every single altcoin indicator is flashing bright green. It's all flashing by. We are seeing the government supporting crypto. We are seeing the biggest money in the entire world stacking and stacking crypto right now, while the short-term people on chain are dumping like crazy because they got overexposed and overexposed themselves to risk. Could we go lower at these points? Sure. I mean, I could see Bitcoin going all the way down to 60,000 or something like that. But at this point, like, you just keep buying. I know you don't want to hear that. I know people don't like that. Like, oh, well, you know, crypto influencer bullish all the way down. But what you do is when the markets are down and they're being scary, that's when you buy. That's how you make money here. If you're not a talented trader, you're not a person who can swing in and out of this stuff, your best bet in this market is to buy when people are losing their absolute shit and then hold for a very long time. That's where you can get the edge at. You can get the edge by buying fear and being patient. And everybody's going to hate me for saying that. Oh, bullish. He was bullish a week ago. I'm going to be bullish all the way down. because I don't think these are the highs for crypto. I don't think this is the top for crypto in the next 2 to 3 years. I think that's fucking ridiculous. I think the recent high of Ethereum at like 3,800 or whatever it was, I don't think that's the high over the next 2 to 3 years. Do you? I don't think it's topped out over the next 2 to 3 years. Do you? I don't think Cardano has topped out over the next 2 to 3 years. I don't think we're not going to see a bull run in the next 2 to 3 years. And I don't think the prices we're seeing right now are anywhere even remotely within the universe of the future all-time highs we're going to see. So I'm willing to be patient here, and I'm willing to buy the fear. I'm willing to be bullish during the fear, and I'm willing to ride it even a little bit lower, because I think overall, no matter where we buy, as long as you're in this range, they're going to be excellent prices over the next couple of years. So that's my 2 cents. And sorry if this isn't the most funny video, but I didn't have time to write a script or be creative for that. I just wanted to say what I had to fucking say, and I've said it. So I'll see you in the next video. Follow me on Twitter at ZSSBecker for faster updates. That's all I got, guys. See you soon.